When he took office a year ago, assuming the role of the head of state and commander-in-chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, several parts of the country were in turmoil in as far as security is concerned. But President William Ruto promised to silence the guns by all means. From banditry in 6 North Rift counties to terrorism in North Eastern and Lamu, inside the year that was, religious extremism, as experienced in Shakahola, also made it to the list as one of the main national security threats. As the country prepares to mark the first year of the Ruto presidency, Hassan Mugambi walks us through security hits and misses of the Ruto administration in a year.
When he took the reins of power a year ago, President William Ruto made promises, one of them that he would sort out the myriad security challenges that rocked the country. From banditry to terrorism, muggings in major towns and religious extremism, challenges that still remain on the list of the threats to national security. The vital security docket landing on Professor Kithure Kindiki, a man who was one of the contenders of the position of Ruto's running mate. Kindiki, who was a surprise pick for the interior docket, assumed office at a time when the country was facing numerous challenges. On the defense front, Aden Bare Duale became Ruto's pick. With both men having served in the legislature, the men and women in uniform were fairly an uncharted territory for both of them. The duo, however, became the busiest of Ruto's ministers, Professor Kithure Kindiki and Aden Duale, to date still crisscrossing the country with the aim of restoring normalcy. Duale recalling how dilapidated the 6 North Rift counties were prior to the launch of a joint operation against bandits.
These counties, most of West Pokot, Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Turkana and Samburu, we now have more other training bases. So we're building more bases so that we make use of those harsh terrains to also build the training capability of our forces. Before, they used to go there, do the training, and then come back to either Eldoret RTS or to Lanet, our Kenya Military Academy, for our premier officers. So now we want to train them and they stay in those bases.
Without delving into our operational framework, I would like to say the following: that we intend to populate all the affected and security sensitive areas with as many security officials as possible from the various formations.
In February this year, a joint operation was launched to silence the guns in parts of 6 North Rift counties, including Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, Samburu, and Turkana. This is what the area residents feel.
Sisi watu kama wa Baringo South tunashukuru sana kwa sababu tulikuwa tunasumbuliwa na maneno ya insecurity, lakini since aingie kwenye kiti, at least kumetulia.
Watu siku ile walikuwa walali nyumbani, ng'ombe walali nyumbani. Watu walikuwa watembei kwenda Noskuro, kwenda Mugutani, kwenda Rukusu, lakini kufikia sasa at least watu wameanza kutembea.
As a means to silence the guns even further, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki instructed the construction of operation bases for specialized national police units. The engineering battalion of the Kenya Defence Forces now rehabilitating the collapsed infrastructure of North Rift, the main focus being restoration of schools and opening up security roads. They are undertaking the reconstruction of 26 schools that had been shut and vandalized owing to banditry.
4 months ago, the numbers were, a whole secondary school had about 40 students. Today, there are over 300, 400, and we want to increase the number to 1,000. So we are building, we are renovating, we are building new dining rooms, we are building new sanitation blocks, we are building classes in all these 23 education facilities. Some of them, we want to turn them into boarding schools.
In northeastern Kenya, both Kindiki and Duale have made countless trips, with Kindiki concentrating more on the people, the police and the national administration along the borders and interior Kenya. Duale's area of concentration was border towns and combating external aggression by the Al-Shabaab here. They have made calls for community cooperation.
At any war against terrorists, you will not succeed unless you bring on board community collaborations.
The Al-Shabaab menace has also rocked Lamu County that as late as Monday with periodic attacks claiming lives, displacing residents and destabilizing the economy. Here, the latest prescribed solution include the opening up of security roads and construction of bases to improve the turnaround time in case of an attack. Despite the fortification of the operation zone that runs from Kiunga in Lamu County to border point 1 in Mandera County, several attacks have sifted through, Lamu taking the worst hit. Between June and August this year, 8 people have lost their lives.
The leadership of Lamu, let us, all of us, focus on the external enemy. Let us not allow the enemy to use our internal differences to recruit our children, to kill some of us, and to have a free movement.
Another great security challenge as enumerated by Kindiki is religious extremism. In this, Good News cult leader Paul Mackenzie is accused of leading more than 400 of his followers to death. He got them to fast at the Shakahola forest, where he hired supervisors who enforced his fast and buried victims. The exhumation operation is still on. Kindiki proposing policies that would see religious organizations operate under government oversight. Hassan Mugambi, Citizen TV.